This fanfiction, by the way, on Wattpad is by Jada Grace 333. It's called New Girl. Please check it out. It's a Bakugo X reader. It was a normal day for Class 1A. Ida was telling everybody to sit down and get off their desks. The Deku squad, Izuku, Uraraka, Ida, and Tsu, were laughing and chattering. The Baku squad, Bakugo, Kirishima, Denki, Sero, and Mina, were laughing while Bakugo was yelling at them. The students were waiting for Mr. Aizawa, their teacher, to arrive. Finally, Mr. Aizawa came through the door. Everybody took their seats. "Good morning, Mr. Aizawa," everybody said in unison. Mr. Aizawa began to speak. "Class, today we have a new student. She wasn't here for the first part of the year because she was studying abroad in America. She took and passed the entrance exam just like all of you did. YN, come in." Just as he finished speaking, a girl came into the room. She had wavy, waist-length orange hair that was pulled haphazardly into a half-up, half-down bun. She had big black eyes with a tinge of purple in them. She ran to the front of the class. "Introduce yourself and tell them your quirks. And in class you do the same," said Aizawa as he zipped up his sleeping bag to go take a nap. "Hi, my name is YN Aizawa. I have 2 quirks. My first quirk is force. No, not like in Star Wars. It's basically like punching someone but without your fist. Before I tell you what my second quirk is, just so you know, Mr. Aizawa is my older brother." The whole class gasped. They now saw the resemblance. "My second quirk is part of my first quirk. If I activate it when I hit somebody, one of my I can erase the person's quirk for 30 seconds, so I guess it's more like 1.5 quirks. And when I activate it, the other part of my quirk isn't as strong." The whole class was in shock, not only that you were Mr. Aizawa's sister, but that your quirk sounded super powerful. Everyone in the class was dumbfounded by this, except Bakugo. He was more interested in you yourself. He was unconsciously staring at you, not even listening to what you were saying, just taking in your beauty and voice. He had a strange feeling in his chest, one that he had never experienced before. It confused him. He was snapped out of his thoughts as Kirishima tapped him on the shoulder. "Hey Bakugo, isn't she amazing? She has 2 quirks, just like Todoroki," said Kirishima with a toothy grin. "Yeah, whatever, weird hair," he said, looking back at you. "Can you tell me all your quirks and names?" The class Ida stood up first and said, "My name is Tenya Ida and my quirk is Engine." The rest of the class stood up and proceeded to tell them their quirks. You were super happy. You were somewhat obsessed with quirks and how they worked, and all of your classmates had amazing quirks. Everybody had told you their names and quirks, except Bakugo, who was still staring at you. Kirishima nudged Bakugo, who was then snapped out of his trance and realized he had to say his name and quirk. He was angry at the sensation in his chest, and since you caused it, he was angry at you. "Why should I have to tell an extra like you?" he said, looking away, as he felt guilty for being mean to you. He had never felt that before. This irritated him even more. "You don't have to, I guess, if you're insecure about your quirk," you said. The rest of the class turned to you, afraid for your life. But what they don't know is that you have a temper that rivaled Bakugo. "What did you just say?" he yelled. Now he was angry. "I guess you don't know what insecure means. I'll try to use small words. Your quirk sucks, so you don't want to tell me," you said with a smirk. "I know what insecure means, idiot. My quirk's 1,000 times more powerful than yours," he yelled back. "Then what is it?" you retorted. "It's explosions, and that's what I'll do to you if you don't shut up," he yelled and then blushed once he realized you were laughing at him. "I was just teasing you, but that does sound like a powerful quirk. You'll have to show me sometime," you said, wiping a tear of laughter away. "Whatever," he said, with his anger now gone. Your smile made him calm. "And what's your name?" you asked. Like I'd tell you. He wanted to tell you, but he didn't want his pride damaged any more. "Okay, you don't have to tell me. I'll just call you Boom Boom Boy. Boo for short." You winked at him and then walked to your desk, which happened to be next to his desk. He blushed immediately. Izuku picked up on that. He had never seen Bakugo blush before, and they had been friends since they were kids. "Don't call me that. My name is Katsuki Bakugo," he said, still blushing. You thought that he looked cute and he blushed, and a small blush bloomed on your cheeks. So much for not getting his prize damaged anymore. "Too late," you said with a toothy grin, trying to hide your blush. After the school day ended, Izuku followed Bakugo. "Kachan," he yelled to Bakugo, who turned to him with a scowl. "What do you want, Deku?" he asked, annoyed. "In class you looked really red. Do you have a fever or something?" he asked, concerned. He was just as oblivious as Bakugo when it came to romantic feelings. "No," he yelled at Deku, who flinched at the sudden yell. "Okay, just make sure that you get enough rest and that you're not sick," he said. Even though Bakugo was mean to him sometimes, he was still his friend. "Whatever, nerd," he said, walking away. Deku might not be too keen on romantic stuff, but Mina was pretty keen on it. She picked up on Bakugo staring at you and blushing. Once they were in the dorm, Mina went to find Bakugo. Meanwhile, you had already made friends with especially with the Baku squad. But you didn't have a chance to talk to Bakugo because he went straight to his dorm. You were slightly sad by that because you wanted to get to know him better. You were on the couch with Kirishima and Denki talking about random stuff, weather, TV shows, and quirks. Then Bakugo came into the conversation via the conversation about quirks. Who would you say is the most powerful quirk in the class? You asked. Bakugo, Kirishima, and Denki said in unison. Todoroki and Midoriya are pretty powerful too, though, said Kirishima. Tokoyami and Viairosa are pretty powerful too, said Denki. Is Boo really that powerful? You asked them dumbfounded. They laughed at the nickname. He was the winner of the sports festival, said Kirishima. Yeah, and you don't want to mess with him, that's for sure. He has a temper like no one I've ever met. We were pretty worried for you when you talked back to him, said Denki, shivering. Remember the times he's pissed Bakugo off. You think I can't hold my own against him? You asked, a bit annoyed. No way. He has one of the most powerful quirks I've ever seen. And you're a girl, he said nonchalantly, not noticing how angry you were. But Kirishima did, and you reminded him of Bakugo. So you think just because I'm a girl I can't beat him, you asked, trying to stay calm. Yeah, that's just one of the many reasons, he trailed off, noticing you were fuming. He was scared now. Want to bet, you said, getting closer to him. Sorry. No, ma'am, he said, backing away. The whole class was now watching. Sorry, you said, rubbing the back of your neck sheepishly. I have a pretty bad temper. I can usually keep it in check, but sometimes I slip up, you said nervously. Meanwhile, in Bakugo's dorms, Mina and Bakugo were talking. Well, Mina was telling Bakugo about you. Isn't YN pretty super cute and sweet? She said to the blonde-haired boy, trying to make him admit his feelings. What? No, I don't, he yelled defensively. Now he was as red as a tomato. Bakugo, Mina said in a soft tone. I know you well, and you never act like this. You might not realize it yet, but when you do, make sure I'm the first person you come to, she said with a smirk, and started to walk away. Wait, he said before he could think. How do you know when you like someone? He asked, slightly embarrassed. Mina turned with a smirk on her face. She could tease him, but right now she just wanted to get you two together. There was never any romantic drama, besides Deku and Uraraka. But she had already tried to get them together. She still was. Well, there's a few things that usually you can feel this weird feeling in your chest. You can't stop looking at them, and you constantly want to be by them. Not to mention you blush a lot when you're around them. She said this with a smile. Bakugo was in shock. She hit the nail on the head, and he had all of those feelings. Then I think I might like them, he mumbled. Yes, she squealed with delight. She was surprised she was able to make him admit it so quickly. If you tell anyone and you die, he yelled. Okay, don't worry, not a word. Cross my heart and hope to die, she said as she crossed her heart. As the months went on, you and the Baku squad became very close. You were an official member. You and Bakugo, or Boo as you called him, were super close. You now both realized your feelings for each other. But neither of you said anything. Mina managed to make you admit that you liked Bakugo, and of course couldn't keep it to herself and told the rest of the Baku squad. They all put their heads together to try to come up with a plan to make you confess to each other. After hours of thinking, they finally came up with a plan. Okay guys, so this is going to be part 1 of the fan fiction. The reason this is going to be part 1 is because my phone storage is pretty low and I only have 2 minutes left of recording time, and there is still about a halfway to go. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you liked this and don't want to miss any more content. I'm going to be trying to upload once a week. So yeah, please check out my Wattpad page.